Do you ever wake up feeling stiff and sore? Even after a good night's sleep, maybe your joints ache, your energy feels zapped, or your brain just seems a little foggy. You might brush it off as just getting older, a natural part of the aging process. But what if I told you that a significant part of that discomfort, that creeping stiffness, the feeling that your body is constantly fighting an invisible battle, might not be about age at all, but about something far more controllable: the food you're eating? It's a painful reality that many of us face, quietly battling aches, pains, and a general sense of not feeling quite right, without ever realizing the secret culprits lurking in our kitchens. For years, we've been told about healthy eating, but sometimes the most common foods, the ones we reach for without a second thought, are actually working against us, quietly fueling a fire of inflammation within our bodies, especially once we cross that wonderful threshold of 60. This inflammation isn't just about feeling a bit sore. It can contribute to a host of more serious issues, from heart problems and joint degeneration to memory decline and persistent fatigue. But there's good news. Understanding what's happening is the first step towards feeling dramatically better. In this video, we're going to peel back the layers and look at 6 specific foods that, surprisingly, are often the biggest contributors to inflammation after 60. We'll explore why they're problematic, what to watch out for, and most importantly, what delicious and simple swaps you can make to quiet that internal fire and reclaim your vitality. So, get ready to discover some surprising truths. And make sure you watch to the very end, because there's something waiting for you that will truly surprise you and could change how you approach your diet forever. Let's dive right into the first category of foods that can quietly wreak havoc on our bodies after 60. And it's one that often hides in plain sight: refined sugars. Now, I'm not just talking about the obvious culprits like candy bars and sugary sodas, although those are definitely on the list. I'm also talking about the hidden sugars tucked away in so many everyday items we think of as harmless, or even healthy fruit yogurts, breakfast cereals, salad dressings, sauces, and even seemingly savory items like crackers and bread. When we consume refined sugars, especially in large amounts, our bodies react with a surge of glucose. This spike in blood sugar triggers an inflammatory response. Think of it like this: your body is trying to deal with an overload, and in doing so, it creates compounds that are like little sparks, igniting inflammation throughout your system. For us, past 60, this constant internal fire alarm can manifest as persistent joint pain, that nagging ache in your knees or hips, or even just a general stiffness that makes it harder to move freely. It can also contribute to fatigue, making you feel drained even when you haven't done much, and can even affect your mental clarity, leading to that brain fog feeling where thoughts just don't come as easily as they used to. The problem isn't just the sugar itself, but how our bodies, as we age, become less efficient at processing it. Our insulin sensitivity can decrease, meaning our bodies have to work harder to manage blood sugar levels. And this extra effort often translates into more inflammation. So, what can we do? The key is to become a label reader. Look for ingredients like high fructose corn syrup, sucrose, dextrose, and anything ending in "ose" instead of sugary cereals. Try oatmeal with berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Swap out sugary sodas for water infused with fruit, or unsweetened herbal teas. For snacks, reach for fresh fruit, nuts, or plain yogurt with a touch of honey if you need a little sweetness, rather than cookies or pastries. Even small changes here can make a world of difference in reducing that inflammatory load. Imagine waking up with less stiffness, feeling more alert, and having more energy to enjoy your day. It's truly achievable. Moving on from sugar, let's talk about the next big inflammation offender: processed foods. This is a broad category, but think about those convenience foods that fill our supermarket aisles: frozen dinners, packaged snacks, fast food, pre-made baked goods, and many kinds of deli meats. These foods are often loaded with a triple threat of pro-inflammatory ingredients: unhealthy fats, excessive sodium, and, you guessed it, more hidden sugars. They're engineered for taste and shelf life, not for your health. Take a look at the ingredient list on a typical packaged snack cake or a bag of chips. You'll often see things like trans fats, hydrogenated oils, artificial colors, flavorings, and preservatives. These ingredients are foreign to our bodies, and when consumed regularly, they can trigger a chronic inflammatory response as our immune system tries to deal with what it perceives as invaders. For someone over 60, who might already be experiencing some age-related wear and tear, this constant internal battle can exacerbate existing conditions like arthritis, contribute to digestive issues like bloating and indigestion, and even lead to weight gain around the middle, which itself is an inflammatory state. The convenience of these foods is tempting, especially when life gets busy. But the long-term cost to our health is significant. What's the alternative? Embrace whole, unprocessed foods as much as possible. Choose fresh fruits and vegetables, lean proteins like chicken, fish, or beans, and whole grains instead of a frozen dinner. Try cooking an extra portion of a healthy meal like a chicken and vegetable stir-fry or a hearty soup, and save the rest for later. If you're craving a snack, grab an apple, a handful of almonds, or some carrot sticks with hummus instead of chips or crackers. It takes a little more planning, but the payoff in terms of reduced pain, improved energy, and a clearer mind is invaluable. And that brings us to our third major inflammatory culprit, often found hand in hand with processed foods, but also present in many cooking oils we might use regularly: unhealthy fats, particularly trans fats and an excess of omega-6 fatty acids. Trans fats, often listed as partially hydrogenated oils, are perhaps the worst offenders. They're artificially created fats found in many fried foods, fast food, baked goods like pastries and cookies, and some margarines. Your body doesn't know what to do with them, and they trigger a strong inflammatory response that can harm blood vessels and increase the risk of heart disease. Even if you're avoiding trans fats, many common vegetable oils, like corn, soybean, sunflower, and safflower oils, are very high in omega-6 fatty acids. While some omega-6 is essential, our modern diets often contain a massive imbalance, with far too much omega-6 compared to beneficial omega-3s. This imbalance promotes inflammation throughout the body. Think of it like this. Omega-6s are like the accelerator for inflammation, and omega-3s are like the brakes. If you have too much accelerator and not enough brakes, things can quickly get out of control. For seniors, this can mean not just an increased risk of heart issues, but also persistent aches and pains, a slower recovery from activity, and even contribute to conditions like type 2 diabetes. What can you do to tilt the balance back in your favor first? Eliminate trans fats completely by checking labels and avoiding anything with partially hydrogenated oil. Second, swap out those high omega-6 vegetable oils for healthier alternatives like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil for cooking, and actively increase your intake of omega-3 rich foods like fatty fish salmon, mackerel, sardines a few times a week, or consider flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. These simple swaps in your pantry can significantly calm the inflammatory storm in your body, allowing your joints to feel more mobile, your heart to function more efficiently, and your overall sense of well-being to dramatically improve. It's about choosing fats that nourish, rather than inflame. Now that we've talked about the sneaky impact of refined sugars, processed foods, and unhealthy fats, let's move on to another set of foods that can contribute to that silent inflammatory fire, especially as we age. The next one might surprise you, given how prevalent it is in our everyday diet: refined grains. We're talking about things like white bread, white pasta, white rice, many breakfast cereals, and baked goods made with white flour. The problem with refined grains is that during processing, the bran and germ are removed from the grain. These are the parts that contain most of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What's left is primarily the starchy endosperm, which our bodies quickly convert into sugar, just like with refined sugars. This rapid conversion leads to a spike in blood glucose, triggering an inflammatory response. Imagine your body trying to process this quick surge of sugar repeatedly throughout the day. It's a constant stressor that can lead to chronic, low-grade inflammation. For us, as we get older, our bodies become even less tolerant of these rapid blood sugar fluctuations. This can manifest as increased joint pain, fatigue that just won't quit, and even contribute to brain fog, making it harder to concentrate or remember things. You might find yourself feeling sluggish after a meal, heavy in refined grains, or experiencing unexplained aches that seem to come and go. The fiber that's removed from whole grains is crucial for gut health. And a healthy gut is intimately connected to a healthy immune system and lower inflammation. Without that fiber, our digestive systems can become sluggish, further exacerbating the problem. The good news is that making a switch here is relatively simple and incredibly beneficial. Instead of white bread, opt for whole grain bread where the first ingredient is whole wheat flour or another whole grain. Choose brown rice or quinoa instead of white rice. Swap white pasta for whole wheat pasta or even legume-based pastas like lentil or chickpea pasta, which offer even more protein and fiber. Start your day with steel-cut oats or rolled oats instead of sugary cereals. These whole grain alternatives digest more slowly, provide sustained energy, help stabilize blood sugar, and importantly, provide that vital fiber to keep your gut happy and your inflammation levels down. It's about choosing grains that fuel your body steadily, rather than sending it on a roller coaster ride. Next, let's consider a category of food that's a bit more nuanced, as its impact can vary widely from person to person, but it's certainly worth paying attention to, especially after 60 dairy products. Now, dairy isn't universally inflammatory for everyone. Many people can consume it without an issue. However, as we age, a significant number of us become more lactose intolerant because our bodies produce less of the enzyme lactase, which is needed to break down the sugar in milk. When lactose isn't properly digested, it can ferment in the gut, leading to bloating, gas, stomach upset, and, crucially, an inflammatory response in the digestive tract. But it's not just lactose intolerance. For some individuals, certain proteins in dairy, like casein, can also trigger an immune reaction, leading to inflammation that extends beyond the gut, affecting joints, skin, and even contributing to respiratory issues or general fatigue. You might not even connect your morning yogurt or a slice of cheese with that achy knee or that lingering feeling of sluggishness. The signs can be subtle at first, maybe just a bit of indigestion, but over time, if dairy is a trigger for you, it can contribute to chronic inflammation. How do you know if dairy is an issue for you? One way is to try an elimination diet. Remove all dairy products for a few weeks and see how you feel. Then, slowly reintroduce them and observe any changes in your symptoms. If you notice a flare-up of aches, digestive issues, or fatigue, then dairy might be contributing to your inflammatory load. But don't worry, there are plenty of delicious and nutritious alternatives available today. Instead of cow's milk, consider unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or soy milk. For yogurt, look for coconut or almond-based yogurts. And for cheese, there are many plant-based cheese alternatives that have improved immensely in taste and texture. If you discover dairy is indeed a trigger for you, making these simple swaps can significantly reduce inflammation and leave you feeling lighter, more energetic, and less prone to those mysterious aches and pains. It's about listening to your body and giving it what it truly needs to thrive. Finally, we come to a substance that, while often enjoyed socially, can quietly contribute to significant inflammation, especially when consumed regularly or in excess alcohol. While a moderate amount of red wine is sometimes cited for its antioxidant benefits, regular or heavy alcohol consumption is a well-known inflammatory agent. When alcohol is metabolized in your liver, it produces toxic byproducts that can damage liver cells and trigger inflammation. This inflammation can then spread throughout the body, affecting various organs and systems. For older adults, our bodies often become less efficient at processing alcohol, meaning even smaller amounts can have a more pronounced effect. The liver's capacity to detoxify diminishes, and dehydration, which alcohol contributes to, can worsen inflammation. What does this look like in terms of symptoms? Increased joint pain, especially in the mornings. Persistent fatigue, disrupted sleep patterns, and even a worsening of existing conditions like gout or digestive issues. Alcohol can also disrupt the delicate balance of bacteria in your gut, leading to what's often called leaky gut, where inflammatory substances can pass from the gut into the bloodstream, triggering widespread inflammation. It can also interfere with your body's ability to absorb essential nutrients, creating deficiencies that further compromise your health. It's not about never enjoying a glass of something you like, but rather about being mindful of how much and how often. If you find yourself having a glass of wine or beer most nights, or more than one drink at a time, consider cutting back. Try replacing some alcoholic beverages with sparkling water with a slice of lemon or lime, or a refreshing herbal iced tea. Focus on savoring one drink rather than habitually reaching for another. Listening to your body's response after consuming alcohol can also be very telling. If you notice more aches, less energy, or disturbed sleep, it's a clear sign your body is struggling with the inflammatory effects. Reducing alcohol intake can be a powerful step towards reducing overall inflammation, improving your sleep quality, boosting your energy levels, and feeling more vibrant and clear-headed. Your body will thank you for giving it a break from this inflammatory burden. We've journeyed through 6 common foods that, while often part of our daily routine, can quietly contribute to chronic inflammation, especially for us after 60. We've talked about the sneaky impact of refined sugars hidden in so many products, the widespread issues caused by processed foods laden with unhealthy additives, and the damaging effects of unhealthy fats, like trans fats, and an excessive imbalance of omega-6s. We then explored how everyday staples like refined grains can spike our blood sugar and fuel inflammation, the nuanced but important role dairy can play for those who are sensitive, and finally, how alcohol can add a significant inflammatory burden if not consumed mindfully. It might feel a bit overwhelming at first to think about changing these deeply ingrained habits and food choices. You might be thinking, what's left to eat? But remember, this isn't about perfection or deprivation. It's about awareness and making small sustainable changes that add up to a tremendous difference in how you feel every single day. Think of it not as taking things away, but as adding in more of the good stuff, more foods that nourish and heal your body. When you swap out a sugary snack for a piece of fruit, you're not just avoiding inflammation, you're giving your body vitamins, fiber, and natural energy. When you choose whole grains over refined ones, you're not just reducing blood sugar spikes, you're feeding your gut healthy fiber that supports overall well-being. These aren't just dietary recommendations. They're invitations to feel better, to move with more ease, to think with more clarity, and to truly enjoy this wonderful stage of life with less discomfort and more vitality. The key is to start small. Pick 1 or 2 of these areas that resonate most with you, or where you feel you can make the easiest change first. Perhaps it's simply being more conscious of hidden sugars in your morning cereal, or swapping out your cooking oil for something more beneficial, like olive or avocado oil. Maybe it's trying a plant-based milk in your coffee for a week to see if you notice a difference. Every single mindful choice is a step towards a healthier, less inflamed you. Don't underestimate the power of these seemingly minor adjustments. Over time, these small shifts will accumulate, allowing your body to calm that internal inflammatory response, leading to less pain, more energy, better sleep, and a sharper mind. Imagine waking up feeling truly refreshed, ready to embrace the day without that familiar stiffness or brain fog. That's the incredible potential that lies within these changes. Your health journey is a personal one, and it's never too late to make choices that support your well-being. You deserve to feel your best, to enjoy every moment, and to live with zest and energy. We're all in this together, learning and adapting to best support our bodies as they change. So, I encourage you to think about what you've learned today and consider how you might incorporate these insights into your life. What one change feels most achievable for you right now? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you noticed how certain foods affect your body? What are your go-to anti-inflammatory meals or snacks? Please share your wisdom and insights in the comments below. Your experiences can truly help inspire and guide others in our wonderful community. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. A like goes a long way in helping us reach more people who could benefit from this information. And of course, if you haven't already. Subscribe to our channel for more practical tips and empowering advice to help you live your best life at every age. Remember, small changes truly can make a big difference to your health and happiness. Keep nurturing your body. Keep learning. And keep living your best life at every age. You've got this.